America's most exciting radio talk show. The Savage Nation, home of borders, language, culture. And here he is, winner of the National Radio Hall of Fame Award, Michael Savage.
And make the biggest investment in new, good-paying jobs since World War II. We're going to do it in infrastructure, technology, clean energy, advanced manufacturing. And I'm also going to pay special attention to those parts of our country that have been left out and left behind from our inner.
You know what she's saying? Nothing. The fact of the matter is, her policies are the policies of the Democrats, socialists, Islamists who are currently running the country. Oh, welcome to the Savage Nation. You're not listening to yourself. You're listening to the radio program known as the Savage Nation. And today I'm going to do something interesting for you, as usual. I try to think of, I try to do it a little different every day, because every day the same thing, you're going to get bored. I am not going to talk about the email scandal because I am bored of it. And unless we see something, I'm not interested in it. I feel you feel the same way. What's there to talk about? Something we don't know anything about? We know all the news headlines. We all read the same sites. We know Podesta's a crook, in our opinion. We know he's a slimy crook. We know that he appointed the lawyer who's going to now overlook the email campaign, and we're going to expect what? What do you think is going to happen? His old friend is the lawyer inside the Department of Injustice under Loretta Lynch, the most unqualified lawyer in the history of the DOJ to have ever been put in that position. If it was a Republican attorney general, she'd be in jail for what she did. But nevertheless, here we are, and there's nothing to say about it. Huma, Wiener, Hillary, it's boring. It's like a bad pinball game. I was looking at the news around the world, and I saw one story after another about what's going on in Europe as a result of the Muslim invasion. In Germany, we are losing control of the streets. Merkel's Germany descends into lawlessness as the Africans and Syrian Muslims rampage throughout Germany. The police are afraid of them. Women police, multicultural police who never should have been police, weaklings were put into the police force. Does it sound familiar? The tough cops were purged, and weaklings were put into police forces throughout Germany, and now the Africans are virtually spitting on them in Germany. What about in Sweden? What's going on in Sweden? Same thing. Regions of Sweden you can't even go into. What's going on in America? Illegals are crossing the border in unimaginable numbers, and the feds are allowing it, and they're doing it to skew the election. They're going to let them go into polling places and vote. Obama is a criminal. Obama is violating the Constitution. Obama is the man who's doing all of this. Make no mistake about it. So I look ahead, and I ask myself, what will the first 5 years be like if Hillary wins? Then I say to myself, on the other hand, what would the first 5 years be like if Trump should win? And so I wrote a monologue today entitled, Imagine a Silent Christmas. Imagine a silent Christmas. That's what America will be like in a few years if Hillary, God forbid, wins. A silent Christmas where singing and praying during Christmas will be banned in public for fear that it will offend Muslims. If you think I'm making this up, take a look at what's happening in Sweden, where Muslims have taken over entire towns. Christianity has been beaten into submission and is retreating. It is also happening here in towns in Michigan. It is happening here as well. If Hillary wins, Christianity will not be outlawed. It will be suppressed. You will not be able to sing Christmas carols in the street. You will not be able to ring church bells. So imagine a silent Christmas. This is exactly what the communist progs have wanted forever. They have wanted to suppress Christianity without regard to the consequences. For weird reasons, the Prague feminist mafia is somehow enchanted with Islam, a religion that will kill all of them. But nevertheless, imagine a silent Christmas, because that is what is coming to America if Hillary wins. The Soviet Communist playbook called for them to give 5-year plans to manage their country. If Hillary wins, she'll be playing out of that playbook. But what will America look like in 5 years if, God forbid, she should steal the election? Let's look at some key points under her and under Trump to see what America will look like. First, let's look at immigration. Hillary is promising to up the ante on allowing Syrian refugees in and increasing immigration from Muslim nations that will bring 1 million more of them into this nation. And because it will be politically incorrect to keep track of them, they will form communities like in Dearborn or Islamburg in upstate New York. These will become no-go zones like they currently have in areas of London, Paris, or towns in Germany. U.S. law and the Constitution need not apply. But the throwback Sharia law will win the day. And make no mistake, the mosques they build will not be preaching love for America. Under Hillary Clinton, the southern border will be wide open, as she has expressed a hope for in the WikiLeaks emails that have been released. She wants an open border with Mexico, as does Barack Hussein Obama. The Democratic playbook will be to flood America with illegals from South America and Mexico so they can get on the voter rolls and keep Democrats in power. Texas, are you listening to me, Dallas? KLIF country? Texas will no longer be a red state, nor will Arizona, leaving no path for a Republican or conservative to ever win office again. And they will have a Senate that can permanently ram through legislation which benefits only the criminals in the Democrat machine. And a Supreme Court that they own will find it all legal. Where does that go next? The economy. All of these refugees, American illegals, will they all be starting businesses, becoming entrepreneurs, working hard, doing jobs that Americans won't do? No. They'll be filling the welfare rolls, taking advantage of every government program that we now have and all the new ones that Hillary Clinton will create. It will break the backs of working men and women. It will drive up our debt to heights previously unimagined. And it will influence federal policies in health care and labor costs. And what will that lead to? Crime. You're listening to the Savage Nation. I'm giving you a terribly dark view of what this country will look like if this harridan should steal the election. Under her, crime will skyrocket as people will do what they have to do. It's like a tsunami of Mexicans pouring in. You're telling me they're all coming in for jobs? To her own nation of Germany. Why is Mad Dog Merkel doing this? Why is the socialist, psychotic Hollande in France doing this to the French people? Why are they infiltrating their own nations with a scourge which is out to destroy their own nations? The answer is quite simple. Because there's money in it. The answer is quite simple because there's money in it for the church. Maybe not directly in their pockets, but never ever forget that the church front groups receive a bounty from hosting governments for every barbaric immigrant. Catholic charities, Lutheran family services, they're rolling in hundreds of billions of dollars, tax dollars at that. Every illegal immigrant that comes into this country has a dollar tag attached to their head. We know about the cartels that smuggle drugs. We know about cartels that smuggle immigrants. But do you understand that the Catholic Church, do you understand that they are very much like a cartel that is profiting from the invasion into this nation? What will the world look like after 5 years of Donald Trump? A man the Pope once claimed wasn't Christian. Well, on immigration, Donald Trump is calling for the extreme vetting of immigrants from Muslim countries. This only makes sense to me. Do we want to see another Paris or Nice in Chicago or Los Angeles? Do we want to see our American young influenced by radicals from terror nations? Trump will build the wall. We have to have a nation that has a border, or we don't have a nation at all. On the economy, he'll tighten up the tax code. He'll lower taxes on the middle class. He'll lower corporate taxes, encouraging jobs. He'll put a brake on unnecessary spending and put someone in charge of the Fed that will make our dollar strong again. Trump will be tough on trade and stop China from taking advantage by manipulating their currency. He'll put tariffs on Chinese goods, I hope. He'll implement policies that will bring companies back to our nation. He'll force tech giants like Google and Facebook to pay their fair share of taxes, which will generate hundreds of billions of tax dollars a year. That will lead to jobs. The companies will expand. More companies will be formed. More people will work. The less crime there will be. But most importantly, Trump will side with law enforcement, not the street thugs funded by George Soros and the Democrat machine. Trump will side with the cops, not the killers of cops. And Trump will make us proud to be Americans again. and he'll have respect for all religions, even Christians. And Christmas will not be silent. I'm Michael Savage. That's the beginning of my show. Be here or be nowhere.